Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 13th of July, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, it was a very strong day on the market, thanks to lower than expected inflation figures in the US, which I'll tell you about shortly. The S&P ASX 200 closed up 1.6% to 7,247 points. Plenty of movers among the large caps. Goodman Group jumped 4%, Rio Tinto was up 3%, Macquarie 2.6%, and Wesfarmers more than 2%. BHP, Commonwealth Bank, ANZ and Woolworths were all about 1.5% higher. Some of the smaller caps, biotech Imugene, Gold Digger Perseus Mining and UK-based lender Virgin Money were among the very best performers. So too other gold companies like Evolution Mining and Regis Resources. Market leader Newcrest and number 2, Northern Star Resources, both rose by around 4% today. The worst of the top 200 was insurer QBE, which was down 3%. In corporate news, vitamins maker Blackmores said it will pay a special fully franked dividend of $3.29 a share on August 1 if its takeover by Kirin Holdings is approved by shareholders. And oil refinery and petrol supply business Viva Energy downgraded its profit outlook. The group said its convenience business has performed strongly, but higher operating costs hit its energy and infrastructure business. Story number 2, core inflation in the United States is slowing. Finally, exactly what the Federal Reserve was hoping for when it lifted interest rates. Annual inflation fell to 3% in June from 4% and lower than expected. Core inflation, which removes food and energy prices, has been harder to reduce, but last month it fell to 4.8% from 5.3%. While financial markets have still priced in one more interest rate hike in the US, most economists now think the rate cycle is close to over. That's what got markets so excited today. Story number 3, still all about markets, this time the local bond market. After the US inflation figures and following Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe's comments yesterday about interest rates, investors have downgraded the likelihood of many more rate rises locally. The 3-year bond rate fell 10 basis points to 4% today, down from 4.3% at the start of the week. Meanwhile, 10-year bond yields are 8 basis points lower at 4.05%. There's also been quite a shift in money markets. The market implied peak cash rate is now 4.4% by the year end. That's down from 4.7%. What's that mean? Well, it suggests that markets now think there'll only be one more rate rise. It might happen in August. There's about a 50% chance of that according to the market, but it will have happened by September. Story number 4, Acting Prime Minister Richard Marles said NATO's decision not to extend membership to Ukraine is a matter for the military alliance rather than the Australian government. NATO did not provide Ukraine with a clear timeline for membership in the alliance at its summit in Lithuania this week, prompting criticism from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. But Marles wouldn't be drawn on that decision. Now, the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, is overseas, of course. A couple of great images over the past couple of days stand out. One is the hug between Zelensky and Albanese. It was a really warm embrace. Zelensky was probably happy Australia had just boosted its military aid to Ukraine by $100 million. The other is a video doing the rounds of Albanese meeting Rishi Sunak, the UK Prime Minister, and the two discussing cricket, specifically what happened at Lord's. Well worth chasing that one down. And story number 5, the Australian-European Union free trade deal is, if not dead, definitely on life support. Agriculture Minister Murray Watt has pledged the government will do everything it can to achieve a better result from its negotiations for a free trade agreement with the EU. Watt said it was disappointing Brussels had not agreed to Australia's requests for greater access for agricultural products to enter the bloc, given the demands were modelled on deals the EU had made with other countries. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 13th of July, 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.